the day 8 question is the closet of purgatory. Dive into your closet of shameful purchases and share an impulse buy that you may never get to. Okay, so I've gone with a recent impulse buy, which is the Imperial Knight Renegade box set, which is a game but is really bought to get two Imperial Knights at a good price. And the main reason why this is probably a terrible impulse purchase I'll never get to is because this half-built, half-painted Imperial Knight here isn't from the box set. It's just an Imperial Knight that I bought quite a long time ago and have never really got into painting it. A lot of that's because I find that the larger models need your painting to be better to look any good, because as they scale up, the little flourishes that you put on a small model when you put on a larger model don't really work, so it requires a different painting skill set. So yeah, so that's my closet of purgatory, which doesn't actually yet live in my closet, but the only thing I've done is open it to check the sprues were there and not broken, and then put it back in the corner. And as I don't enjoy or get around to painting the knight that I already have, having another box of two knights is unlikely to be got to anytime soon. The other reason is a lot of the things which I buy and don't use for Warhammer 40k and Fantasy just make it into my collection of bits boxes and then get used for other things. While really, I think the scale of the Imperial Knights means that they're not as easily integratable into other projects and conversions. Like, that's going to be a very big head for anything other than a defiler. Okay, so that would be my closet of poetry for today. I'm sure there's a lot more stuff in my closet as I think this comes back through the project. Okay. Okay, quick update. Hopefully I'm going to have another one of these this evening. This is the end of my morning painting session on day 8. I've got the boot and glove colour done on everyone, and the backpacks base coated on everyone, and I've started painting the brown on the Pathfinder unit. The Pathfinders take a lot less time to do the brown and the grey on because they don't have the leg plating, which seems to make a lot more difference than it should. So yeah, so that's how we're doing. We're not optimistic, but we're hopeful that we may get our oath of the week completed today. we're going out now, so we'll get back to painting this evening. And as I say, hopefully there'll be another bit following this with this evening's update. Okay, end of day 8. I think I've done pretty well with my oath. I mean, all of the infantry are base coated now, and this broadside, the whole of it's base coated, and the head is base coated, but I can't quite remember what I did with it. I haven't managed to do its arms, mostly because I don't have a scheme quite figured out for how to do its arms. So I left those until I progressed to get that sorted out. And this guy was base coated in what are probably my old colours, which need replacing, just because he was my first pre-project test model for trying to figure out the scheme. But we're more likely to repaint him at some point to base him around the scheme of the test model. So today I've done like a lot better than I thought I would, since paint, as like I think I said before, getting the brown layer on each guy seems to take 20 minutes. So yeah, so happy with what we've got done. I think given that what my oath was meant to be was to undercoat, and I did say base coat, so I tried to stick to what I said. I think I've done fairly well. The only thing as well which I haven't painted up is this guy here, which is just my battle suit, because I'm planning to replace him with one of the new battle suits, just because this guy's from the original Tower release, which seemed to be around early 2000s, and I'm having a lot of issues with the plastic being too brittle, where bits just break off and stuff like that. And it's not me being aggressive with the model, it's just that the plastic's gone fairly weak. And so I'm looking at getting pinning on him to use him in general, but as part of the project he's sort of becoming a bit of a nuisance or general liability in trying to get things done, given how much time seems to be going into adding more and more pins to keep him together. Yeah. The other thing which I don't think I'm going to do anything about, but is this Fire Warrior squad here is, again, they're the older kits, and they're just quite irritating from just where the detail's not as good, or in some cases where it's probably because it's old models that I was a lot younger when I was dealing with. It lacks the detail, so you're kind of painting on sections that should be there. Like some of the gun barrels don't have the definition between the paneling. So if I get time, I'd like to replace them with newer models. I in theory have a second breach kit / strike team kit, which is what I made these guys out of one of the kits, and I should have another one lying around. I just need to locate it, which seems to always be more difficult than hoped. But anyway, so I think that I pretty much made my week 1 oath. So that, in my opinion, is good, even though obviously it's not quite where I want it to be. Yeah, okay. So, right, so oath for the moment for... Oh wait, we'll do that in the next bit because we need to just read the oathage. On this paintbrush, I make my oath of the moment, but by the end of day 15, I will have completed painting this strike team squad, which is the one that the test model came out of, is sitting in the middle of it, and painted up, completed painting one breacher and one Pathfinder, and I think that's what we're going to stick with being our oath, just based on this week getting very tight. I think getting, yeah, a whole squad done and getting a completed test model for the other squads just with the varying helmets and different equipment, it'd be good to get a reference model for them. Yeah, so that's stuff which is in my oath. I'd also like to get, if I have time, I'd definitely like to get the broadside painted up as well, as they'd be good to have as an armour test, like a reference for the armoured units. Okay, so that's my oath moment. And just as a final note, my day 9 will actually be next Saturday. Today's Sunday, but for like all of next week I'm busy, will be busy with work, and won't be near my miniatures or have time to do anything on them. So yeah, so we expect the next update should be next Saturday. Okay, so yep, so that's the end of my day update. I think we've done fairly well for week 1. I'd say that the size of the project, when I started, before I started painting it at the beginning, I thought would be quite small, and I get stuff done and then have space at the end of the project to expand into adding other things in. But now, after the first 8 days of it, I feel that probably the project will easily fill the 31 days. Okay, bye folks.